It's no secret that we all three love building wood furniture.
But something that we've always wanted to do is incorporate metal into our pieces.
So we called our good friend Jen Woodhouse to show us her tips and tricks for welding.
And we teamed up with Lincoln Electric to try out their brand new machine, the 140 MP.
And we cannot wait to show you guys what we do with it.
So let's go.
Okay, so Jen, what makes this new machine by Lincoln different than like the older one?
Well, it's a 3-in-1 machine. It does MIG, TIG, and stick welding.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna do TIG today.
Ooh, TIGrific.
So a lot of people are really intimidated by welding, but this machine makes it super easy to get set up. There's a chart under the panel and it tells you exactly how to set your machine up, depending on what material you're using and what thickness that is. So it just takes the guesswork out of it.
All right, now that we have our machine ready to go, it's all set up, we are using a bench grinder to grind the tungsten points down to a fine point. Hey Jen, what are you doing?
Hey, so right now we're just practicing where we've got a really thick piece of steel, and so we've got the machine cranked way up so we can just practice our welds before we move on to the real thing.
I like it.
So you see how like there's all, it's not like it doesn't look good here, it looks better there.
Right.
I guess because I was too far out and then now I can't control the heat as well. So the way that I can explain it the best is when the arc is here, the way that you want to control it. So if you have a flashlight, the best way to kind of visualize how to control the arc is, so if it's really close, then you have a really concentrated piece of light there, right? Then the further out you go, then now the heat disperses. Also, if you go this way, then it's going to ramp out this way. So you kind of can visualize like with your torch the flashlight. So you definitely want to keep a really tight arc so that you have control over the weld. You don't want the heat to kind of get away from you.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a great tip. That gives me a good visual.
Yeah. Okay.
She's so smart. I noticed that when I put my head down closer to the arc that I was actually able to see and control better like how I was actually doing the welds. Okay, I'm good now. Your turn. Woo! Good job.
Let me see that weld. Which one was it?
The straight one.
No,
on the
look at that.
bottom.
That's so good.
You win. Mine are blue.
Anything you can do, I can do. We really learned who the more talented sister was today, and that was me.
Slow and steady wins the race, baby.
Which actually ended up being the case.
Not really. All right, so at this point, Whitney and I are feeling pretty confident with our very basic welding skills, so now we can go ahead and move on to building the base. So Jen already built the table base legs and brought them up to us, and now all we're gonna do is attach the crossbars, and that's what you're gonna see us do today. All right, Jen, what is that red guy right there?
It's just a really strong magnet and it helps keep the pieces stable while I'm welding.
That's so cool. All right, I won't bug you anymore. Yes, I will.
Now that we've done a few passes without the filler rod, we're going to add the filler rod and see how we do with that. So we're using 1-inch square tubing, and now we're just going to attach the long bars to the short sides.
So one thing that we were totally blown away by is that we are able to cut these metal pieces ourselves. However, you can actually order it from a metal supply store and they will cut it down to size for you.
For no extra cost.
That's right, you just go pick it up. That's my kind of deal right there.
They also ship.
Oh, God!
Even better. All right, Whit, so what is going on right here?
All right, Jen just got the opposite side of this angle right here tacked, and so we have flipped this over so we can tack this in too. We really want to get that nice and strong, and then we will fill it in with a filler in just a bit.
So when you say tack, what do you mean by tack?
You just want to kind of weld a little dot, like just a really small spot, just to kind of hold the two pieces together until you can go back and enforce it with that full bead.
It's kind of like sewing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes in sewing,
Yeah,
you'll do like a
exactly.
tack stitch,
Yeah.
just to get everything in place, and then
Yes.
you'll go and like do the serger or whatever after. So
I got it.
There you go.
I like it.
it's just giving us some stability, Ashley.
All right, I like stability.
So do I.
This welding machine is so awesome. You get all the performance that you'd expect from the Lincoln brand, but at a super affordable price. I love that it's a compact and versatile welding machine, so it's great for beginners like us, and it's also great if welding's your hobby. There's a weld right there.
Okay, so and also the beauty about TIG is that if you mess up, it's really forgiving, and that you can just weld over your welds over and over and over again until you get it right.
That's great news for girls like us, Ashley.
Absolutely. We like forgiveness.
Jen called the pro in. So Jen got that first bar on, and now I want to tackle this next one, so I'm giving her a little break, and we'll see if I can do it.
I have faith in you.
You can do it. Faith can move a mountain, right? Like a boss, babe. Did you do it? Yes. What? I just tacked 2 quarters. Look. Oh my gosh, that's good. Awesome. So happy right now. And you want to keep an eye on the tip of your tungsten, because as you work it will dull, and you just need to trade those out periodically.
Okay, so now we have this side of the base attached, and we're gonna flip it around and do the other side. So when you're welding, the heat and the metal is gonna continue to burn, so you don't wanna stay in one spot too long, so we've learned that you need to move around to different spots and let them cool before you go back and rework them. Now we've got all of our joints welded, and it's time to grind out those imperfect spots.
So we're using an angle grinder, and we've got a 60 grit flap disc on it. And we're just gonna grind down these welds so that they're really nice and smooth.
Look at those sparks.
Woo!
Ow!
So we feel so empowered from learning this today. It's something that we have wanted to learn for a really long time. I think the biggest lesson that we did learn is that practice makes perfect. And we've spent many years learning to work with wood, and I feel so many ideas in my head now about what we can use this welder with.
And we always have our friend Jen that we can FaceTime for questions when we get stuck.
I love that idea. Yes.
Okay, we have ground down all of our welds, and now it's time to add the finish.
So we're using a self-etching primer, and we're gonna spray that on first, and then we're gonna go back with black spray paint.
I cannot believe that we just welded this beautiful coffee table base.
Oh my gosh, and you guys did such an amazing job.
Well, we had a great teacher, but now...
Go on.
Oh, sorry. But we've got to get Jen packed up in her car and headed back to Austin.
But we have big plans for this table base.
So stay tuned. You don't want to miss what we do with this guy.
Y'all gotta subscribe because you can't see it till the next video.
Okay, Jen, what is this little red guy right here?
So this is just a really strong magnet, and it's got the pieces, and it's
That's making the last part of
the bloopers part.
Yeah.
Whitney will say, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, okay. Literally.
Dang it! All right.
Marshmallow.
All right.
Great.
Or you can just get one of your Shaney sisters to
Be grinding.
grind.
I'm good at grinding.
And it's time to grind out those unperfect joints.
I think it's imperfect.
All right.
And on spot, we both corrected you.
Make sure that you catch our next video.
I definitely think we should keep.
It's adding a lot to the video, actually.
You know, you were a great...
That was
Can't
probably a really
believe-
good blooper. I was watching all that fun.